Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video we'll be taking a look at the most recent models being phased out for Warhammer 40,000, and does this mean there are some new models on the way for the Astra Militarum? I was checking out the Games Workshop website today and I had a look at the last chance to buy option for the Warhammer 40,000 section and saw quite a few models for Astra Militarum. So of course I had to make a video about them. This is the big army I'm building at the moment. So in this video we'll take a look at the models that are being phased out, talk about their roles in the army, have a look at their data sheets and ask whether this means we're going to get some new models for the Astra Militarum really soon. My boy and I were thinking about ordering Severina Reign and a couple of the Crusaders later this week. So this is pretty good timing. This has come up actually because I think we're going to get hold of one of these models for sure. But the first model in the lineup is Severina Reign. Now she's going to be an elite choice in your army, and she's a commissar with a little twist on the regular commissars that you can pick. And if you've read some of the stories and the novels that she's in, you'll know a lot more about her than I do because I haven't read any of those yet. But to add another interesting model to the collection I think is pretty cool, and so having this extra commissar in the army might be worth it just for one ability she comes with. So let's have a look at the data sheet. And she's going to come in at 35 points, but she is armed with Evenfall. This is the sword, and this is going to give the strength user and the AP -1. But if you go for the regular commissar, it's going to be 25 points, but you do have to pick up to 2 weapons from the melee weapons list. So if you pick, say, the Power Fist, that's going to be 10 points. You pick the Power Sword, that's going to be another 5. And so points-wise, these are going to come around pretty similar. Of course, if you just go for the Power Sword, a regular commissar is going to be 30 points, but you won't get this leading from the front ability that Severina Reign comes with. But also, that special pistol called Penance comes with an AP -1 too. So yeah, it could well be worth adding her to your army. 2 of the abilities are going to be the same, the Aura of Discipline and the Summary Execution. I hate that ability though, I really don't like it, but I guess if you're playing with the lore, you're going to be using it in the game perhaps. But she does come with this one called Leading from the Front, and here, friendly Astra Militarum units within 6 inches of her automatically pass morale tests, whilst this model is within 1 inch of an enemy model. So you really are encouraged to get her up front and involved with the enemy, getting stuck in with some melee, putting that Evenfall to some good use. So that's the first model, Severina Reign. Interesting looking model, great to have a different pose on that commissar we see in so many of the start collecting sets, and I think having just a few extras on the data sheet makes it worth trying her out in some different army lists. But at £22, she's pretty pricey, and the chances of getting a discount on this one are relatively slim. You don't see a discount on this model on the online retailers, so you will be looking at paying up to that full price. It is a resin model though, so you can expect it to be high quality. And so yeah, if you wanted to pick this up, £22, is it worth it for that extra ability and some special weapons? For me, I think it's worth it. I was really happy with Ragnar, the dwarf I got from Forge World in the resin, fantastic quality. So if this is anything near to that, I'd be really happy. And you're probably not going to see her coming round again, and if you do, it's going to be a long time away, as this was part of the Black Library release. And the next model that's being phased out is Commissar Yarrick. So I was really surprised to see this, such a prominent character and a really interesting model. I didn't like it, but my son wanted to get it, and I'm glad we did because it's fantastic. It looks awesome, and I think it's got some interesting fun rules, especially if you go up against the orcs with him. So I'm glad we included it in our army and picked it up. And for £17 for this fine cast resin model, I think it was worth it. He's going to come in at 105 points though, so pretty pricey, especially if you compare him to other models for the Astra Militarum. But he's got lots of weapons there. He's taken in a bolt pistol, a storm bolter, power claw, and the baylite as well. So yeah, there's a lot going on with this model and some interesting stats across the different weapons. Although with a power claw, you are going to subtract 1 from the hit roll. But the background for this is pretty interesting, how he got it off that orc that he killed once the orc removed his arm. And so yeah, I think it's really fun. And then combining that with the ability called Hero of Hades Hive, where you can reroll hit rolls of 1, made for Astra Militarum units within 6 inches of Commissar Yarrick, but you may reroll any failed hit rolls for them if they're within 6 inches of Yarrick when attacking orc units. So I love this way they've incorporated the narrative into the abilities of the model. And I also like Iron Will, and here you roll a d6 each time Yarrick loses his final wound, and on a roll of 3+, that wound is not lost. And then with the power field giving him a 4+ invulnerable save, I think all that combined makes him a good choice, but for 105 points, is he too much for the army? I don't know. So it's potentially goodbye to Yarrick, or are they going to bring out a new model for him soon and phase him out, and then it won't be long till a new one's available? It would be weird if he just went and then that's it. You can't get another version of him. So maybe this is a good indication of something we can expect to see later on this year. And with that in mind, let's move on to Lord Castellan Creed. And I've read somewhere that there's going to be a new model for Castellan Creed coming out for Astra Militarum in a rumour. And I can't find it. I've had a look again today online, looked in the different chats, and I can't find it. So I don't know where I read that. But this is another indication again. If they're getting rid of such a big character, then they're going to have to replace him, surely. So we can expect to see a new model, maybe, when the Codex comes out. Let's wait and see, and fingers crossed for that, because I think this would be great to have an upgraded model of Castellan Creed. Now, he's only 60 points, and I don't think you're going to do much with him in the battle, although he's got the power sword, he's got the hotshot las pistol, so you've got some AP there, -2 for the pistol, -3 for the sword, but I think it's really being able to get the extra abilities that come with him, so that's going to really make this guy worth putting in, and also, what a character as well. It's going to be a great way to lead the army. Oh, and he does have 2 pistols, so, that's a bonus too. And then if we look at the Supreme Commander ability, with his Voice of Command, it has a range of 12 inches, and you can use it 3 times in each of your turns. So that's pretty good, and you resolve the effects of the first order before issuing the second order and so on. So being able to do that 3 times is pretty good. So this is making that 60 points seem pretty tempting now. And then with the Warlord trait, Superior Tactical Training, on a 4+, if you roll a dice and then get 4+, that order can affect an additional Cadian unit of the same type as the original target within 6 inches of the Warlord. So that's a good combination too. And then add into that the extra 2 command points you get from Tactical Genius and the 5+ invulnerable save from the Refractor Field. I think this would be a pretty fun one to include in a high point army. Alongside Creed, we've got Colour Sergeant Kel, another casualty being phased out, but another character that surely they're going to be replacing with a new model. This definitely needs an upgrade in my mind. I think it could really look a lot better than this, so I'm really hoping this is one that they are going to replace with a new model. I'm tempted to create him with a few bits I've got left over from all the models I've built so far for the army, because I've got like a flag with bullet holes in. I've seen some great images online that I could use as a reference point, and so I might do that in the meantime while we wait for the potentially new models to come out. And, for 45 points, combining him with Creed, it could be a really good option. He's got some nice abilities there that work hand in hand with Castellan Creed. So I think it would be a fun narrative, at least, to put those two together in charge of a big army. He's got a las pistol, a power fist, which I always like. I think they're brilliant fun. They look great on the models and fun to play as well. And he's got a power sword. I like the themed abilities as well. This one's called Listen Up Maggots, and you can make an additional order with a single friendly officer within 6 inches of Sergeant Kel in each of your turns. So if you're putting him close with Creed, then Creed's going to get another order on top of the 3 he already has. And still building more on the narrative, we've got Swarm Protector, and here you roll a d6 each time Lord Castellan Creed loses a wound whilst he is within 3 inches of Colour Sergeant Kel. On a 2+, Creed does not lose a wound, but Sergeant Kel suffers a mortal wound, so he takes the hit for Creed. So that's the final model for the Astra Militarum. So Colour Sergeant Kel is going to be phased out. Not one that I'm interested in picking up. I don't like the model enough to really feel like I need to rush out and get it, when I can certainly make him up with different parts from the other models. I'm a little bit tempted to grab Lord Castellan Creed though. £17 for the resin model. Could be worth it. But do I take a risk and wait for that new model and hope they do replace him and that it's better than this one? I'm sure it's going to be better, but there's no guarantee, I guess, but I'm sure they're going to have to replace him, aren't they? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Have you heard the rumours that there's going to be a new model for Creed coming out around the same time as the Codex? Let me know what you think down below. As well as the Astra Militarum, you've also got 2 of the Inquisitors being phased out. The one with a power sword and bolt pistol, and the one with a combi weapon. You've got the Spore Mine Cluster from the Tyranids as well. So not too many models that are being phased out, so that's good. The dice I'm not worried about. Kill Team Corsair and Kill Team Legionaries. I mean, at £24 for those dice, that's pretty pricey for what you get. And the Red Terror for the Tyranids being phased out as well. But for me, it's all about the Astra Militarum and especially Creed from this selection. And yeah, do I get him or not? Not really sure. But yeah, I'd love to know what you think about this and if any of these are going to be on your list to pick up before they're phased out and discontinued. I hope you enjoyed the video, and fingers crossed we get some Astra Militarum news really soon, because I can't wait for the Codex and new models to be revealed. But for now, thanks so much for watching. Please hit the like button if you liked the video, subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'd like to say a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters who make these daily videos possible, and if you're interested in joining the community, it'd be awesome to see you there, and I'll put a link for that in the description down below.